Eagles OTAs are underway, and we're going to look at 5 things to keep a watch on and just monitor as things are hot and heavy. Also, let's look at some Jordan Davis news, as well as avoiding a bullet with a certain quarterback that went off to the AFC West. What's up? It's your boy Cintron. Come back at you with another news/analysis video, and I kid you not, that's my real name. And like I said, today first here, let's stop off with a Jordan Davis train. So, with a bigger role in the Eagles defense, Jordan Davis is ready to reach those explosive heights, something like that. But he is a second-year veteran now, and he's slimmed down. He looks to be stronger. You go and look at the photos yourself. He looks chiseled. He's added muscle and dropped some of the fat from that frame. Probably still in the 320s, but as a 6'6" guy, he carries that very well, and that probably only makes him stronger, lighter, faster, and more agile, quicker. So he said there's 2 things that he can work on. One being his conditioning, because he came in last year, having to go through the draft process is a very exhausting process, to long, arduous, and it's in addition to coming off college football season, so uncharted territory for those guys. They got to fly all over the country, somehow manage their weight, keep on weight if they're a lighter guy, or keep weight off by eating healthy things on the road. So a lot of different tasks they have to balance and learn on the fly. And then coming into that, they to undergo training and study, get ready for an NFL season. So and it's gonna be the longest season they've ever experienced. And then as a professional, getting paid for it. So many caveats to throw into the mix, and he ended up getting injured, and that just halted his progress. He was on the uptick, getting more responsibilities as we spoke playing in that Pittsburgh Steelers game. Got an ankle injury, and then kind of just derailed his progress. He left off at a safe spot here, had to pick up kind of almost from zero. The momentum was gone, and we already had guys in front of him that had a multitude of experience, Linval Joseph and Dominican Sid, that we trusted, and he wasn't able to pick up where he left off. So, but this season he has another full off season. And he's coming into it with so much more knowledge, things he gained from those guys, for Fletcher Cox and the dearly departed Javon Hargrave. So he's going to be a better guy in that regard. As far as conditioning, he knows what to eat now, and having a full off season, another full off season, to have the training staff, maybe whip up a diet for him and mark off things such as foods he should avoid and whatnot, but. He's just more experienced, that year under his belt makes a world of difference. And that leads to his, technique. He watched film himself, from a couple months ago, and, self-admitted that, he looked very raw on the film in his technique, and just probably, relying more on his natural talent, his strength, the skills that he gained up until this point at Georgia. And, he was trying to implement and make his own from the coaches throughout the year, but there's nothing like sitting back and reflecting on the film and looking at yourself from a third person outside the box, outside the glass type of view, and really, sitting there being honest with yourself. Like, hey, well, I can work on this, my placement, my anchor, my hand usage, my leverage, just knowing what plays coming and stuff like that. So there's so much that is going to transform for him. But those 2 things he highlighted as things he needs to address, and that's just a tipping point. He says he wants to be able to reteach the defense to other players coming in, chiefly like his running mate at Georgia, who he's a senpai to, Jalen Carter. So there's a lot on his plate, but he welcomes the responsibility coming into his second year. So a lot to look forward to from Jordan Davis. Another thing here from Bleeding Green Nation, man, we dodged a bullet, man. Russell Wilson, he blocked the trade going from the Seattle Seahawks to the Eagles, and we were interested in him. Again, we were originally interested in him in the 2012 draft when he went as a 3rd round pick, and we were thinking about drafting him in the second round, didn't, and Seahawks drafted him before us. So what would have been? Could have been very interesting. But, he famously forced his way out of Seattle to go to Denver, and, had an atrocious season with, almost a quarter of a billy on the pay books, on the accounting books. So I mean, like, what a bullet dodged, especially with, in hindsight, with what Jalen Hurts has developed into. So glad that we didn't go that route. So yeah, there's that, man. I mean, always said, let Russ cook. All I smell is burnt food. But let's get into our main thing today. And I feel like I'm forgetting something. But anyways, 5 things to watch at Eagles OTAs. So we already covered the first day of OTAs in the video yesterday, I'm thinking. But we're going to look at 5 things that we should continue to keep an eye on. And we're going to have one more media session that's going to be open to the public, or open to the media. And that we're going to break down, and we're going to get some more news on more looks and see how the guys have improved since then. I don't know if it's going to be next week or in the following week. We only have 6 sessions, so I'm guessing on it being this week maybe. So we'll see before things are shut down. There's a lot of dead space. You guys are going to be like, so bored and waiting for content. I'll be producing content, but it might not be the content you're waiting for, but you shall see. But it's going to be the dead space before training camp begins, and then the real thick of things. Into the thick of it begins. So let's take a look at, some addendums here. So the new guys. So we're really looking at guys coming in from the draft, and we also have the free agent guys, and there's two diversions there. Diverting paths, because guys are fresh coming into the league, they're new to everything, and then guys that are veterans elsewhere but trying to apply their trade here in Philly and acclimate to a new environment, new systems, and such. Number 1, does Carter look like he's in shape? Concerns about his stamina during the pre-draft process. So that's gonna be one thing. It could be similar to the last D tackle we just drafted, Jordan Davis. How is he gonna hold up over the course of a year? It's a long season. If he went all the way to the Super Bowl, so it's like 20 games. That's a long, winding path and a grind. And yeah, for a younger body, it's gonna be an easier burden, but still, it's gonna take some getting used to. And how's he gonna be keeping up his weight, keeping up his stamina, his energy, his focus throughout the course of a year? There'll be veterans in his ear and guys that help him. Chiefly, the guys that he knew at Georgia that can provide some kind of guidance and leadership and just answering many questions that he's going to have on the way. But what we don't know. This is a great unknown, and it'll be very telling if his production tapers off, or if he's able to stay consistent and when he hits that rookie wall, because most rookies hit it, at some point. Is he going to be able to push through, reassess and regroup, regather, or is he going to slowly fall apart, diminish in his production and kind of be more of a liability out there? So we shall see, but hopefully he has the makeup to just bounce back when he does encounter adversity. Number 2, Smith is an undersized edge rusher, but does he look out of place size-wise among the other guys in the trenches? This will be telling, man, because he's going to come up against these behemoth offensive tackles that he's going to be tasked with getting behind and getting around and moving around and dipping under and ripping apart. How's he going to face that? He is undersized. You can't ignore that. He's 240. I think he says he wants to play at like 245. Would be perfect for him. That's still lighter. It's about the same size as Hassan Reddick, but Hassan knows how to use his size, and he was an expert at using that leverage and displaying power though when ripping through those tackles and bull rushing, getting around them, using his own personal set of arsenal, his own arsenal set of moves, pass rushing array, to do what he did to the tune of 16 sacks, 3 in the postseason. Just excellent. So hopefully he can model himself after that, but he still has to become his own man, find his own specialty. He didn't have, a hallmark move. So they're trying to work on that, him and Wash. So, they'll get him ready, but still on him to go out there and produce. But we'll see if his size really comes into factor. All right, number 3, where's Steen lining up, and can he be a threat to Cam Jurgens for the starting right guard spot? I think he'll be lining up at right guard, and he'll be like a swing guard / number 2 tackle as far as backup. And we'll see how that goes, but I think he'll be competing immediately for that spot, but maybe doing a lot of maybe doing some cross training at tackle as well in the event someone goes down, because it's Lane and Mailata on the exterior, and then Driscoll backing up both of them, and then that could be Steen backing up Driscoll and also backing up the interior guard spot. So maybe an emergency center, but let's just say Cam Jurgens gets hurt. Not Cam Jurgens, sorry. Jason Kelsey gets hurt. Cam would go in there as center, and then Steen would most likely replace him at right guard. So he's going to be ready in the event that he has to play. He has a frame. He has adequate play strength, but we don't know. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. But it's a great unknown. He's going to be fighting for a backup spot, which could be more cushy, because these guys had good health last year. I mean, and O-line guys are pretty tough. I mean, yeah, there'll be injuries, but I know we did have good health, but generally speaking, like they fight through injuries, a little bit more than other positions, just because they're not looking to run routes and things like that. It's a physically demanding position, but completely different from exterior positions or positions that, like running back, where you're expected to take advantage of an open field of grass at some point. But let's move on to number 4. Who is getting first team reps at safety? And is Sidney Brown part of that mix? Yes, he is. But his thing is how can he develop in between now and the start of the season? So I mean, even if he doesn't play, he's gonna get reps in those, like I said, safety sets. But the question is, can we work him onto the field? Maybe he can be the nickel guy. He has great size for that position. 5'10", 210, very fast guy. But the interior is not most likely. It's very different from playing where his position is safety. So where will we use him at? Most likely special teams if he's not a starter. But it's going to be a lot that's going to be expected of him if he's going to be in the starting lineup. And it's a big responsibility to farm all that land back there. So I have right now Reed Blankenship edging him out, but we'll see how it goes, because you never know. How is Keely Ringo interacting with the veterans ahead of him on the depth chart? I mean, I think he should just be sitting and learning, because he's not going to be pressed for an immediate role. He's 20 years old still, very young guy, and obviously he's a part of a succession plan for the outside corners when they both either hang it up or go elsewhere. And Darius Slay and James Bradbury. But he's still just, a guy in waiting right now. And making the most of that time. We'll really get to see if he gets elevated. It'll be a very telling sign how much playing time he gets in the preseason, what he does with that, and as well as like in the season, is he filling some type of role outside of special teams? Because I definitely believe we'll use him there, because he has great size, great speed as well. 4.36 guy at 210, 215 maybe. He's like a 6-foot guy. So how fast or slow he comes along, that'll be very indicative of how much progress he's been making. Number 6, will Tanner McKee be a legitimate threat to make the roster and grow into a number 2 down the road, or is he just the next Clayton Thorson? Damn. I mean, just another bye. We'll see, man, because he had a bad O-line at Stanford, but obviously it's diametrically opposed to this gold standard line we have here in Philly right now. And he's tall, reminds people of Nick Foles, and I don't know how successful he was. I think he had decent results at Stanford, but going to Stanford, you imagine a person being an intelligent guy. But we'll see. If he's able to beat Ian Book, so it'll be very telling if it's the battle between them. So we'll see in preseason. Yeah, we'll get a good look at what he's capable of. All right, number 7, where is Moro Ojomo lining up? Could he have an inside-outside role? That would be interesting, man. That would save us, potentially a roster spot. Give us a lot of depth in different packages as well. So Moro Ojomo, he was seventh round pick, but at fourth, fifth round value, and we were able to snatch him up. So adding to that, wealth there on the interior line. But yeah, man, he was a guy that didn't have too much splash at Texas. Well, he was a very solid guy, and could play gapping roles and new responsibilities. So yeah, I'm he's gonna be competing with Kentavious Street, which we haven't heard anything of, and I don't know, Milton Williams for playing time, but he's lower on the totem pole. He may be fighting for a fifth or sixth spot in one of those last spots. I don't think we're gonna cut him because we want to keep him for the future. More like we would throw out Kentavious Street, but I don't know about that. Like I want to keep him as well because it looks like to be a pass rusher. All right, the other new guys. All right, Marcus Mariota, Terrell Edmonds, Nicholas Morrow, Olamide Zaccheaus, Kentavious Street, who I just mentioned, Greedy Williams, Justin Evans, and several others like DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny. So, I'll just break down quickly, like, assessment. Marcus Mariota, preseason, how is he going to look, and how well is he going to fare? Yeah, he's a veteran, but, not going to show much in the preseason, but if he can just keep things chugging and put points on the board. And hopefully he never has to play, but I do kind of want to see him. I'd love to see a preview of what he can do behind the offensive line. Terrell Edmonds, I think he'll be competing for a starting job. He'll be able to nail him down. But how is he going to operate? He's going to be a playmaker in his defense behind those two corners. They set him up, potentially to be in a great position to have great success statistically and be able to affect the game. And he's a solid guy. He's like a jack of all trades back there. Not quite at maybe the playmaker that C.J. Gardner-Johnson was, but we don't need that. A guy who just can be where we need him to be, make solid plays, breakups, occasional interception, and he plays the run tough. So he's like he can be like a pseudo linebacker back there, which gives us a great great level of flexibility with defensive scheme and play calling and such. So I'll be interested to see how they deploy him in the defense. Nicholas Morrow, he's a fast, quick, diagnosing guy. And he was the best player, one of the best players on the defense for Chicago last year. How is he going to fit? And he's going to be freed up to kind of like just roam and make plays. So how many plays is he going to be able to make? Olamide Zaccheaus, what role do they have him in? We can use him in gadget roles, sweeps, reverses, and such. But in the regular offense, are we going to do any 4 receiver sets? And does he win the job over Quez? If he does, I think we get more precision there at wide receiver number 3. But if he doesn't, what role will he fill? And we'll get to see in preseason. I'm excited to see how he does. See him in live action versus live guys and tackling. He's a tackle breaker. I just want to see him for myself on the field in Eagles green. Kentavious Street, like I said, I think he's a penetrating guy. Can he add that element and flash with regularity? Because he's going to be surrounded by great talent. He's not going to have to be the guy, and it's more so a guy that very explosive. So he's going to see a lot of one-on-ones if he's out there with a number of guys that have envisioned. But how is he going to take advantage of the opportunities presented to him? Greedy Williams, where does he fit, man? Number 4 corner. Could he be number 3? Could he handle nickel duties? We don't know. But he has a high pedigree, like I said, many videos ago, a couple videos ago. Former second round pick, 4'3", 6'2" guy. Has a lot of measurable size. He's 200 pounds plus. But what is he really bringing to this defense? And is he on the fringe, or is he going to actually make the roster? So. Like preseason as well. How's he going to fare against the receivers that are out there? Because they're not going to be starters, but is he going to regain that confidence that he played with in that first and partially the second year? Justin Evans, can he finally make good on his potential? Because the guy, he's talented, former second round pick of the Bucks, but he just never matured and never got over those injuries, constantly hampered down by the injury bug. So what we'll be getting from him, and can we see him, envision him, and give him some quality depth over a guy like, say, the Clemson guy. I keep forgetting his name. I'm forgetting his name, but is he going to make the roster over him, or is he going to be a sad cut? And DeAndre Swift and Rashad, just stay healthy, boys. DeAndre's going to be big in the passing game. Go and watch the clips. His cuts, man, so precise and so clean releases. Rashad, not bad, but kind of what you would expect. I think he could be above average pass catcher, but that's his limit, though. DeAndre could be just as natural as a receiver. Has that potential, but already he's pretty good. All right, is anyone recovering from a surgery that we didn't know about? And don't know, we'll find out. I don't really care about that. Sean decided his new defense, and then Kobe Dean too. So yeah, with him having a green dot, it's gonna be a lot of possibility. He's gonna become the de facto new TJ Edwards. But what are we gonna expect of him? Like I said, I expect like some explosiveness and youth and the passion, the wherewithal to know he's surrounded. He's a good coverage player, and him be able to chase plays down and that young energy all over the field. But for him to make some mistakes as well, for him to to take some false steps, to misdiagnose, to be out of position, and how can he manage the bleeding? Can he keep those mistakes to a minimum? And will he get flustered? Will he get frustrated? Because he's going to have the green dot on his helmet. That means he's going to be relaying the plays to the other guys on defense, which means that they expect a certain level of maturity from him and expect a guy that can handle the responsibilities, which means he's has a high football IQ and a certain level of intelligence. So that being said, how's it going to look? And I'm very interested to see how he pulls it together. Can he be the glue and keep those guys together? And is it gonna extend to the way he speaks to them, and he's able to they're gonna look to him for comfort, or is he gonna be getting helped out by guys around him? I mean, it's a lot to ask for a second player to just play that kind of maturity. So I wouldn't be expecting that off jump, but it'll be interesting to see gradually over the season if guys more so gravitate to him. Or if they're looking at other people, which wouldn't be bad, but I wouldn't expect that from them this year. That would be an extra bonus. Punters, yeah, man. Ty Zettner versus Aaron Sipos. Some people have Zettner taking it. Aaron Sipos feels threatened, so he's kind of activated that emergency mode that the vet has, and it's, hey, I'm fighting for my life now. I'm fighting for my motherfucking life, for his job. But that's great and all, but Ty, if he can just learn from him, look at him, watch him carefully, and approach in a cool, stalking, calm manner, it could still be his job to take. But anyways, we're going to get out of here with that, I think. All right, last piece of knowledge. Ed Oliver signed a contract 4 years, $68 million, so that's $17 million a year. So he kind of got that second tier D type of contract, but it's kind of more so banking on his promise. He's been very solid, but he hasn't pushed up to the great echelon. So there's a ton of great tackles. He's got as a top 15 tackle in the league. Can he break into the top 10? We shall see. And CeeDee Lamb not distracted by a potential contract extension. Yeah, right. You're a Dallas Cowboy. All you see is stars. But anyways, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna end the video on that. But you're not even watching though. It's all good though. Because as always, it's fly, Eagles, fly, and let's motherfucking go. Like, comment, share, and subscribe Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.